There's an area in the Baconing that embraces tomorrow. In this distorted vision of the future, clones have become the predominant members of society. But the science of copying another human being has not yet been perfected, so these walking abominations have extra appendages dangling off their torsos. It's not a pretty sight. The Baconing itself is a clone of the previous games in the series, and it too suffers from a few grotesqueries. Combat that was once a complement to the gung-ho adventuring has now been pushed to the forefront, and the added difficulty leads to bouts of frustration, overshadowing some of the carefree charm. The cheery visuals and comedic sensibilities have thankfully been left intact, resulting in an uneven adventure that fails to fully replicate what made the first two games so darn enjoyable. A man should only have one thong. Deathspank has unfortunately learned this valuable lesson much too late. Donning 5 thongs at once that each hold the power of immortality, he has awakened a terrifying creature known as the Anti-Spank. Now he must travel through a variety of crazy locales in search of precious bacon fire that can burn his revealing underwear and ultimately save the world from destruction. It's a crazy story that fits right in with the Deathspank universe, and the myriad citizens you meet along the way do a great job of drawing you into this world.
Why, it's my old friend, Thongalith Researcher.
I have a name, you know.
Hey, that's great.
But what incredible coincidence brings me to you?
We should do lunch. Get our chili on.
Although you may not always laugh out loud, their fanciful wit will bring a smile to your face, making it fun to talk to each person you meet to see what preposterous thing they'll spout next. As in the original Deathspank and its sequel, Thongs of Virtue, The Baconing is an action role-playing game with an emphasis on whimsy. Comedic narration and goofy events are the driving force of this adventure, though you do have to get your hands dirty if you're going to bring peace to this world. Combat is virtually unchanged from previous games in the series. You have 4 separate weapons equipped at once, and there are special items such as grenades and potions to mix in some diversity. It's a fast-paced system that emphasizes rapid slashing over tactical strategizing, and cutting through swaths of leprechauns and tigers is pleasant, though not exactly exciting. What isn't enjoyable is the long-range attackers who assume the role of fiendish tormentors. To replenish your health in the Baconing, you eat foods that take a few seconds to be digested. If you're attacked or push any button during this time, the process is interrupted. This system works in melee-focused encounters because you can run away from enemies to find the quiet seclusion you need to refill your energy. But this isn't possible when magicians and archers surround you. Because you can neither block nor run away from these marksmen, it turns certain fights into punishing ordeals that overstay their welcome. There are also sporadic difficulty spikes that wipe the swashbuckling smile off your face. Certain bosses have inflated life bars that take exceptionally long to chip away at, and if you fall in battle, you have to start again from the beginning. Because of this, it's preferable to play the Baconing on easy so you can enjoy its comedic strengths while avoiding the combat weaknesses. As in the previous games, your quests offer diversity beyond simply killing every foul beast in sight. There are more than a few objectives that require careful planning to complete, and this is when the Baconing is at its best. In one mission, you have to lace fresh water with a mind-altering substance in order to wield a talking stick. To complete it, you have to combine items in your inventory in creative ways. And though it isn't particularly difficult, its callback to graphical adventures is a great detour from the more straightforward quests. In another mission, you have to cross a multicolored bridge using special keycards. The solution is atypical for the franchise, and finally figuring out what needs to be done is empowering. The Baconing has 2 major strikes against it. Aggravating Combat is a serious problem, distracting you from the many good elements. But the most glaring issue is that this game is too similar to Deathspank's previous outings. The novel sheen has worn off to some extent, so the highs aren't nearly as interesting and the lows are more noticeable. This is still a fine effort for those looking for a goofy adventure, and the local cooperative mode makes it easy to have a friend accompany you during the annoying moments. The Baconing may be a slightly deformed clone of its predecessors, but there's enough merry fun here to satisfy those hungry for another thong-fueled quest.